Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. This yarn is called Lettlopi. This 100% Icelandic wool yarn features 42 colors to choose from, mostly in rich and darker tones and a few neutrals. The colorway that we chose is 1704 Apricot, a beautiful red-orange. This 50-gram skein with 100 meters or 109 yards works up as a worsted weight yarn. In today's video, we're going to review and score Lettlopi using our 5 categories, which are availability, softness, traction, durability, and cost, to help you decide if this is the best yarn for you and your next project. Let's get started. For availability, we give Lettlopi a score of 5 out of 5. Even though I hadn't worked with or purchased this yarn before, I've come across it in almost all of the local yarn shops I have been to. This is also reflected online. I can almost guarantee you that you will not have any issues finding a shop to purchase this yarn from. For softness, we give it a score of 1.5 out of 5. This yarn isn't meant to be the softest, and when purchasing online, Lopi mentions a warning that says that some may find this yarn is not soft enough to be worn next to skin. This is probably one of the most rustic feeling yarns available. However, I would describe the fibers as being long and coarse. With my sensitive skin, I found it a little too rough to be able to knit an entire garment with it. This yarn is spun very loosely, allowing it to hold a lot of air and warmth, but the long, loose exterior fibers are what makes it less soft. The micron count for the inner layers of this yarn is recorded as being between 26 and 28, which is equivalent to the softness of Peruvian Highland wool, but the outer layers are a 36 or more, making the overall feeling of the yarn much more rustic. It does soften some if you use a looser gauge and when washing, so keep that in mind. For traction, we give it a score of 1 out of 5. I'm not accustomed to knitting a lot of rustic yarns, but knitting my swatch took a lot longer than I expected it to. The longer fibers stuck together, kind of like Velcro, making it difficult to knit with. This is just my opinion and experience, and I know that everyone knits differently. For durability, we give it a score of 3.5 out of 5. The nature of how loosely spun this yarn is makes it come apart pretty easily when pulling on it. However, if you use a tighter gauge, that will help with the strength of the fiber while knitting. I used the recommended 4.5 millimeter needle size when knitting, and I noticed a lot of density and structure with this yarn. So if you're looking for a yarn with a lot of drape, this probably isn't the best option. However, if you're making outerwear, it will hold up and can be a great piece to have in your wardrobe. For cost, we give it a score of 4 out of 5. For being a 50-gram skein, you can expect to pay $6.75 US per skein, meaning a size medium sweater would cost approximately $68 US. I did notice that this yarn does run at a cheaper price if you are in Europe, so that's a bonus. If you plan on utilizing the color range of this yarn for color work, which I recommend you do, the cost for a finished garment may increase for purchasing extra skeins and having some yarn left over. Overall, we give Lettlopi a score of 3 out of 5. If you are like me and you are someone with sensitive skin, this probably isn't the best choice of yarn to knit with. But if you are familiar with this particular book written by Linka Newman, you probably recognize that this yarn is very popular and common for knitwear for those living farther north in the colder climates. So once this yarn is knitted up, and if you wear a base layer underneath it, it will definitely keep you warm and it should last you a long time. Have you used Lettlopi yarn before? What yarn would you like for us to do a review on next? We would love to hear your thoughts and recommendations in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed our review, and we'll see you next time.